Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lanez and I go by Green Hojitas on Instagram. Today I wanted to show you guys my Hoya collection. As I was preparing for this video, I realized I have a lot of Hoyas. I actually think I have a lot more Hoyas than any other type of plant. So I'm going to show you them. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is my Hoya Nova Ghost. I actually think I'm going to cut this one right here and reroot it because these leaves are looking a little yellow and she's been through some things. But the newest leaf is really pretty. And I think I can reroot it again. I got this one at the US Hoya Facebook Marketplace, like a lot of my Hoyas. If it's not that, I get them from Etsy. But I really like getting cuttings from the US Hoya market, like my Hoya Lima. Next up is a Hoya that I'm not going to try to pronounce. I'm going to put the name up on the screen. But here it is. I am in love with small leaf Hoyas, but I have not had a lot of luck with them. However, this one's doing really good. I haven't repotted it from what I got it in, the medium I got it in, and maybe that's why it has survived because I haven't bothered the roots. Next is a Hoya Serpens. Because it was a cutting, I still have it on really high humidity, and it actually has 2 growth points. Hopefully you can see. It's not doing too bad. This is actually like my 3rd go at this Hoya. It's really hard to grow small leaf Hoyas. At least for me, it has been really hard. I have this Hoya Bella. I'm going to put the full name on the screen because I'm not going to try to butcher that name. But this one's doing really good. I got really lucky with this plant. I went to Orlando to Succulent Empire, one of my favorite stores for plant shopping, and they gave me this at a really good discount. That day I got this and a Hushkiliana. I think that's how you say it. But that day I got this one too. Also a really good deal. And I put it on this homemade trellis. And this cute little planter that I love. Next one is a splurge, but I have not regretted it. Is my Wilbur Graves Silver. I love this plant so much, and it was definitely a splurge, at least for me. But it's doing so good. I received it with already a growth point, and it's been doing great. I thought the growth point was going to abort, but it keeps going, and it's so pretty. I really love this Hoya. I also got this one from the US Hoya Marketplace. Another US Hoya Marketplace purchase is my Wilbur Graves China. So I'm not too crazy about it just yet because the variegation it's a little low, and I wish it looked like the pictures I see online, which is like really splashy. But I'm gonna hold on to it to see where it goes. But it's doing good in my care. I think I got it with 2 leaves and a little growth point, and it has really done well in my care. So I'm holding on to it to see where it goes. Then I have a Cingillatus Borneo. I'm probably butchering some of these names. This one, it had a growth point, but it aborted after shipping. But now it has 3 active growth points. I really want this to do well. I think it would look so pretty if it was like full, or maybe like a full trellis of this plant. I think it would look awesome. But I'm just leaving it alone and see where those grow. It might have another growth point actually, but I'll have to wait and see. Over here I have my Hoya Lima Splash. This is also my second time trying to grow this plant. The first one, I wasn't too good at rooting cuttings. I got it on rooted cut and it just died shortly after receiving it. But this one's doing really good because I haven't touched it. I got it just in pond. I water when it's completely dry, when the reservoir is completely dry, and that's it. I don't touch it. I just check it for pests from time to time, and that's it. Hoya Lima Splash. Next up is one of my favorite Hoyas ever, is my Hoya Rosita. And I think this is pretty common Hoya nowadays, but it just grows so fast. And when you expose it to the light, the leaves get very dark. And I got this as a very small cutting from Etsy, and it has just taken off. And I've taken a couple of cuttings to give to my family and just propagate for myself, and it's just doing great. It grows super fast. I do have most of these in my cabinet, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. I have mixed feelings about having them in the cabinet right now. Next is my Hoya Crasiopetiolata. I think that's how you say it. And this is another Hoya that I absolutely love because it grows super fast. And some of the leaves have grown pretty big. And I think it's just so pretty. It might be considered pretty common nowadays, but I still love my common Hoyas. It's so pretty. Alright, next I have a cutting of a Hoya Crimson Princess that I took from my mom's giant plant. This is also another really common Hoya, but I just love it. I think it's super pretty. It has that red stem, and the variegation is just so pretty. I really like this Hoya, and I would love to see it flower in my care. I haven't had it for too long, so it probably doesn't have roots yet. I barely got it like this week. So here it is, Hoya Crimson Princess. I also got a cutting from my mom from her Hoya Compacta Variegated. This one needs a lot of TLC because she has it under a lot of sunlight, and it's pretty stressed from the sunlight. So I have it on a Monios T8 light, not too close to the light, to see if the leaves will recover, but I feel like it might have root rot. But I have it in pond, so I don't know. We're going to see what happens. This one also doesn't have a lot of time with me. I barely got it this week too. So I'll keep updating on my Hoya cutting. Next is, this one's pretty up there with my Hoya Rosita. I love this Hoya so much. This is my Publicalyx. I post this Hoya so much on my Instagram because it's just so, it's such a fast grower. I do fertilize it heavy, but it just grows so fast, and the leaves have come out so splashy. I had no idea that it was this splashy. When I got it in a supermarket in Orlando. I think it was my very first Hoya. I knew very little about Hoyas. And wow, has it been rewarding to have it. Like, these leaves are huge down here. And this is a growth point that came out from one of the vines. Look how massive these leaves are. It used to be bigger, so Let me show you guys. I used to have these vines. This is also a Publicalyx, but I decided to chop off the not so splashy vines and just have a trellis with the super splashy vines. So I cut it off and I have them here propagating because I still want them. I'm gonna propagate them some more for my family, and the rest I'm going to put it on a trellis. But ideally, I really want just this beautiful splashy trellis all by itself. I feel like I can appreciate more the leaves that are super silver. It's just so beautiful. But I'm most in love with the leaves down here. And that is my Hoya Publicalyx. Now this one. This is my Hoya Bulbs Splash. Pretty sure. I'm losing track of my Hoyas at this point. I got this at the US Hoya Market on Facebook, and I've been dying for this plant, and I got such a beautiful cutting. I rooted this in perlite on a heat mat, and within like 2 weeks I was able to pot it in pond. And I hope you can see the roots. It has really good roots. And the growth point is growing beautifully. So I pulled this one out of my cabinet because in my cabinet I have the T8s. Yeah, T8 lights, and they're not that strong. At least for my Hoyas, they're not super strong, so they won't sun stress and they won't grow as fast. But outside of my cabinet, I have a single bulb which is super strong, and my Publicalyx is under that light and it's getting like pinkish purplish color. So I have been pulling some Hoyas out of my cabinet to put it under that bulb. And I think my plan for the future is to get another shelf where I can have just my Hoyas with a pretty strong light. And I don't want to have them in a cabinet. I want them to be able to live in like room temperature environment. I do live in Florida, but it's a controlled environment inside the house because you have the AC. But I think they will do great in room temperature. Like my Publicalyx is at room temperature. The Bulbs Splash is in room temperature. Who else? The Skeliana, I think that's how you say it, lives in room temperature and always has. And my Compactas are living in room temperature. Next is my Hoya Matilde Splash. It's not as splashy as other people's, but she's still very appreciated. I think she's really pretty still. I don't have the ability to like cut back to like a super splashy leaf to see what happens because it's not a lot. I don't have like a leaf that is super splashy, so this is what I'm working with. But if in the future I come across a cutting that is very splashy, I might bite the bullet. But she's doing well. She's a very slow grower in my opinion. I wonder how it is for other people, but she's a really slow grower. I also think I want to put it in a legitimate self-watering pot because this has so much algae because it's exposed to the light. I don't have it in no other pot, no cover pot, so it has a lot of algae. So I want to put it in an actual self-watering pot, and I don't know, it makes me feel like it might do better if it has the watering schedule like on its own. You know what I mean? Self-watering pot. I have to have my plants, most of my plants are in self-watering pot because I'm a serial water killer. I overwater my plants, and I've lost a lot of my plants to root rot. So I turned to self-watering pots so I can stop killing my plants. Next, I have just a regular Hoya compacta that my mom gave me with a peduncle already, which I'm so happy because I have not had any of my Hoyas bloom on my care, in my care. And it's just so pretty. The blooms are so gorgeous. This one was also under a lot of sunlight, so she is looking rough. So I have it on a east facing window, I think it is, in my laundry. And that's when the peduncles open, and I actually see another peduncle, but it's not doing anything yet. But I'm just leaving it alone, letting it get just a softer amount of light, and hopefully she recovers fast. I do know that this can be a little slower, but we'll see. I will have to put the name of this on the screen because I do not remember the name of this Hoya. This one's also doing really good. This one is in my cabinet. And it's doing really good. It has so many other growth points, like almost on every single leaf node, it has a new growth point, which I think it's awesome. I would love to see like the trellis full of leaves, because some of the leaves are coming out pretty big, and I think that's so awesome. But yeah, I forgot the name of this leaf. I'll put it on the screen. This is not the last Hoya, actually. I have one more because I also forgot the name. I don't know what's going on. I have mom brain fog. But I also love this Hoya so much. I have it in my IKEA cabinet. I just pulled it down a little bit. I rearranged my shelves and I lowered it because it was literally touching the grow light. But I do not want to pull this one out of the cabinet. It's been growing so beautifully in there. However, I would love to see the nodes just a little closer to each other, because my mom has one that I gifted her from the same purchase. I ordered two by accident, and hers is on a very sunny window and the nodes are like really close to each other. So I would love to see that, but maybe when I cut it back, I'll have it somewhere with like a stronger light. But I love this Hoya so much. So pretty. All right, y'all, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you all in the next one, and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Bye.